Welcome to our exploration of European nationalism, a powerful force that shaped the continent's history from the 19th century onwards. Like glaciers carving mountains, nationalism has molded Europe's map and identity for centuries. It's a force born of both hope and fear, of a yearning for unity and a distrust of the other. In this series, we will journey through European history, tracing nationalism from the French Revolution to its modern legacy. Our story begins in the heart of Europe, in the tumultuous years of the late 18th century. This was a time of great change and uncertainty, where old traditions were being questioned and new ideas were taking root. France, once a mighty kingdom, found itself teetering on the brink of revolution. The opulence of the monarchy stood in stark contrast to the suffering of the common people. The year is 1789, and the Bastille has fallen, a symbolic blow against the old order. This event marked the beginning of a new era, one that would reshape the nation and the world. The French Revolution, with its cries of liberté, égalité, fraternité, ignites a firestorm that will sweep across the continent. These ideals resonated deeply with people who longed for freedom and equality. The revolution's ideals spread like wildfire through Europe. The message was clear: the old ways were no longer acceptable, and a new order was on the horizon. The notion that sovereignty rests not with a king but with the people takes root. This was a radical shift in thinking, challenging the very foundation of monarchies. It's a radical idea, a challenge to centuries of established power. The common people, who had long been oppressed, now saw a glimmer of hope for a better future. The French people, bound by a shared language and culture, become the protagonists of their own destiny. They were no longer subjects of a distant king, but active participants in shaping their nation's future. However, the French Revolution is merely the first tremor in a period of seismic upheaval. The changes it set in motion would ripple across Europe and beyond, altering the course of history. Enter Napoleon Bonaparte, a charismatic general who seizes power in France. His rise to power is swift and dramatic, and he becomes a symbol of both the revolution's promise and its perils. Napoleon's conquests inadvertently spread revolutionary ideals. As his armies marched across Europe, they carried with them the principles of the revolution, challenging old regimes. From Spain to Prussia, people rise against foreign rule, inspired by the French example. The desire for self-determination and national sovereignty becomes a powerful force. The age of monarchs ruling by divine right is coming to an end. A new era of democracy and national identity is dawning, forever changing the landscape of Europe. The year is 1815. Napoleon's empire lies in ruins, defeated by a coalition of European powers. Exhausted from decades of conflict, these powers gather in Vienna to restore order. The Congress of Vienna convenes with the aim of turning back the clock, erasing the notion of popular sovereignty. The architects of this new order, like Clemens von Metternich, are determined to reassert the dominance of traditional monarchies. They redraw the map of Europe in pursuit of a balance of power. Nationalism, deemed a threat, is suppressed, but the spirit of nationalism continues to flow beneath the surface. Secret societies form, keeping the flame of national identity alive. The seeds of discontent sown by the French Revolution are about to bear fruit. The year 1848 dawns like a thunderstorm across Europe, a year that would be etched into the annals of history. Decades of simmering tensions erupt in a continent-wide wave of revolutions, shaking the very foundations of monarchies and empires. From Paris to Vienna, people take to the streets, demanding change and representation. The air is thick with the cries for liberty and justice. In France, a new republic is proclaimed as the monarchy is overthrown. The echoes of the past revolution resonate once more. The spirit of 1789 is reignited, echoing through the streets as people remember the power they once held. The news from Paris spreads like wildfire, igniting uprisings in Italy, Germany, Hungary, and beyond. The revolutionary fervor knows no borders. It's a spontaneous combustion of national sentiment, a collective yearning for change that sweeps across the continent. Students, workers, intellectuals, and shopkeepers find common cause in their desire for a better future. They unite under the banners of freedom and equality. They demand constitutions, freedom of the press, and an end to feudal privileges. Their voices rise in unison, calling for a new order. For a brief moment, it seems as if a new Europe is about to be born. Hope fills the hearts of many as they envision a brighter future. Yet the revolutions of 1848 are as fleeting as they are fierce. The initial successes are met with brutal resistance. Armies loyal to the established powers crush the uprisings with ruthless efficiency, restoring the old order. The legacy of 1848 continues to smolder, waiting for the right moment to reignite. The embers of revolution never truly die. In the aftermath of the failed revolutions of 1848, a new chapter in European nationalism begins. The revolutions may have failed, but the desire for national unity and self-determination only grew stronger. Across the continent, people began to envision a future where fragmented states could come together to form powerful, unified nations. This is a chapter of calculated strategies, of iron will, and of the forging of nations through diplomacy and war. Leaders and visionaries emerged, each with their own plans and ambitions, navigating a complex web of alliances and rivalries. The stakes were high, and the path to unification was fraught with challenges. In the heart of Europe, a patchwork of kingdoms and duchies dream of a unified Germany. The German states, each with its own identity and interest, began to see the potential strength in unity. The idea of a single, powerful German nation started to take hold, driven by a shared language, culture, and history. Enter Otto von Bismarck, Minister-President of Prussia, a master strategist. Bismarck was a man of vision and determination who understood that unification would not come through mere idealism, but through pragmatic and sometimes ruthless actions. Bismarck, a practitioner of realpolitik, believes in the pursuit of power through any means necessary. He skillfully manipulated political situations, forming and breaking alliances as needed, always with the goal of strengthening Prussia and achieving German unification. Through a series of wars, Bismarck unites the German states under Prussian leadership. These conflicts, including the wars with Denmark, Austria, and France, were instrumental in consolidating the German territories and bringing them under a single banner. In 1871, the German Empire is proclaimed at Versailles. This moment marked the culmination of Bismarck's efforts and the birth of a new European power, fundamentally altering the continent's political landscape. Meanwhile, Italy finds a unifying figure in Giuseppe Garibaldi, a charismatic revolutionary. Garibaldi's passion and leadership inspired many, and he became a symbol of the Italian unification movement. Garibaldi and his red shirts liberate southern Italy, achieving unification in 1861. Their efforts were crucial in bringing together the various Italian states, paving the way for the establishment of the Kingdom of Italy. Nationalism, once a force of rebellion, now becomes a tool of state building. The unification movements in Germany and Italy demonstrate how powerful the desire for national identity can be, transforming the political map of Europe and setting the stage for future conflicts and alliances. As the 19th century unfolds, European nationalism takes on a new dimension. It becomes intertwined with the quest for colonies, for empires that span the globe. Nationalism, once a force for liberation, becomes a justification for conquest. European powers embark on a scramble for Africa and Asia. Colonies are seen as symbols of national prestige. This competition for colonies creates a dangerous web of alliances and antagonisms. Germany, newly unified, clashes with established powers like Britain and France. Within the colonies, European imperialism encounters resistance, often fueled by nascent nationalism. The seeds of anti-colonial movements are sown, challenging European empires. The year is 1914. A continent teetering on the brink of war is plunged into darkness by the assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand. The shots fired in Sarajevo ignite a chain reaction, setting in motion the intricate web of alliances. Nationalism, once a unifying force, now becomes a catalyst for conflict. The Great War becomes a testament to the destructive power of unchecked nationalism. Millions of soldiers are sent to their deaths in the trenches of Europe. The war descends into a brutal war of attrition. The Treaty of Versailles redraws the map of Europe, sowing the seeds of future conflict. The war leaves a legacy of bitterness and resentment, fertile ground for extreme nationalism. In the aftermath of World War I, Europe is scarred. The old order lies shattered, replaced by a fragile peace haunted by economic depression and social unrest. In this atmosphere, a new, more virulent form of nationalism takes root. In Germany, the Nazi Party, led by Adolf Hitler, rises to prominence. Hitler's ideology, a toxic blend of nationalism, racism, and anti-Semitism, finds fertile ground. Across Europe, similar movements emerge, fueled by economic grievances and nationalist sentiment. The Holocaust stands as a chilling testament to the depths of depravity to which unchecked hatred and nationalism can lead. As the dust settles on the ruins of World War II, Europe embarks on a journey of rebuilding and reconciliation. The horrors of the war prompt a search for new models of cooperation and integration. The formation of the European Union represents a bold experiment in supranational governance. Yet, the legacy of nationalism is not easily erased. The wars in the Balkans serve as a tragic reminder of the fragility of peace in a region long fractured by nationalist rivalries. Nationalism has been a double-edged sword, fostering unity and a sense of belonging and independence, while also fueling conflicts and divisions. Its legacy continues to influence Europe today in various ways. Understanding this legacy is essential for navigating the challenges of the 21st century. In an interconnected world, finding a balance between national identity and international cooperation remains a challenge. It is our collective responsibility to learn from the past and harness the power of nationalism for the betterment of humanity.